Are you a solopreneur, a consultant? Maybe you got a side hustle? Well, if you fit any of those categories and you have questions about your taxes, you want to stick around. Hey everybody, Kamari Ellis here, also known as the Finance Rebel. If you're new to this channel, welcome. We talk about all things wealth, money, business, side hustles, taxes, wealth, anything that pertains to money. And we even interview authors and some pretty famous people from time to time. All right, so today we're going to do something different. Today I'm going to call today Tax Tuesday. All right, I got a question today from a friend of mine, actually a friend of mine's son, who just started a new job as a contractor or an independent contractor. Now, I don't really think he technically meets the criteria for being an independent contractor. He's probably an employee, but we're not going to talk about that on this video. We'll talk about that in another video. All right, so he called me up and he asked me, he says, well, I'm getting a 1099. I had to pay my own taxes. Just like many of you side hustlers, entrepreneurs, consultants, many times you work places or do work for places, you're a freelancer, and you get a 1099. And what that means is nobody's taking any taxes out. You have to pay your own tax burden. Okay? So one of the questions he asked was, how much should I pay? And so I know he's a young kid. He's not going to do much planning in terms of tax planning. Not going to be too sophisticated with him right now because he's just getting going. So basically I just said, listen, you have to pay the IRS. You have to pay the state where you live at. Sometimes you have to pay your local municipality too. Now, normally the IRS wants you to pay them quarterly. So they want you to pay January 15th, April 15th, June 15th, and then September 15th. But usually I recommend that brand new, side hustlers, entrepreneurs, they pay it monthly. Why do I suggest them pay it monthly? Because many times people cannot see large sums of money in their bank account without spending it for some fictitious emergency or for some trip around the world, whatever it may be. But some way, somehow, the money winds up getting dispersed to people and places except for the IRS and your Department of Revenue at your state and your Department of Revenue in your local municipality. So that kind of defeats the purpose. And what happens is you'll get into a lot of hot water. Now, I'm sure I might get in trouble with some really big tax aficionados because they're going to say, well, you should be worrying about his expenses and deductions and credits at the end of the year. But I say just to keep it simple, we're just going to figure out a way in a system that he can start paying his own estimated tax payments. All right. So like I said, I encourage a lot of people to pay monthly. Now, he's going to make about $1,000 a week. So I said, all right, at $1,000 a week, I would say take out about 20%. All right. That's for the IRS, right? Because when you're independent contractor, you fill out a Schedule C form, you have to pay what's called self-employment tax. That's 15.3% right there. All right. And again, this is before any deductions, any credits, any write-offs. All right. Just straight plain. So at $1,000 a week, he needs to take about $200 and put it to the side. So that's 20%. And in his state, I believe his state tax is about 5%. That's another $50 he needs to put to the side as well. So now we're at $250 he needs to put to the side. Luckily, he doesn't have to worry about any municipality taxes. If he was like me in the city of Philadelphia, he would then have to pay another 3-ish, 4-ish percent. I think I want to say it's 3.6% off the top of my head. But we're looking at almost 30% in taxes. So off that $1,000 every week, he should set aside about $300 every week just to pay to the government. All right. And I wouldn't do it weekly. I will pay it at the end of the month. Now, you can pay a couple of different ways. You can write a check. All right. He can write a check. In the memo section, he can write his social security number, and he can also put the year that he's making the estimated payments for, and then he can mail it off. Now, depending on where you live in the country, you'll have different mailing options for wherever you are supposed to mail this check for the IRS. All right. Then he would send off his payment to the state. Depending on what state, you send it to the Department of Revenue of the state. Like I'm in Pennsylvania, it goes to Harrisburg, and then they have the special code, right? So you send that off as well. Sorry to interrupt your viewing pleasure, but I forgot to tell everybody something. You can also make online payments at www.irs.gov/payments. Now back to your viewing pleasure. Now the whole reason for doing this is so he ends up zeroing out, not owing any taxes when April 15th comes around, tax deadline. I call it tax-ageddon. All right, so that's why I gave it to him, because he's a young kid. And I said, listen, you don't want to get in trouble early. Let's be super conservative. And if you're getting money on the back end, that'll be great. That can go towards your savings or whatever may have you. All right. So if you are a solopreneur, side hustler, freelancer, make sure that you're taking money aside. I would recommend that you pay 20% to the IRS at a minimum. All right. Figure out what the tax rate is for your state. Figure out if you have a tax rate for your municipality, right? If you live in a city or a township, if they're going to charge you anything, figure that out in advance. Put that money to the side. Start early. I have a lot of clients who wait till the last minute to pay their taxes, and guess what? They get jammed up. And Uncle Sam's interest, when you get behind and owing the money, it's pretty steep. Pretty steep. Almost like a loan shark. But hey, I didn't say that. They're a governmental agency. All right, so listen, again, pay your taxes, pay your estimated taxes. As you get more sophisticated, as you get more knowledgeable, then you can do more things. You can do some more tax planning. Instead of sending all your money to Uncle Sam, you can keep some of that money for yourself and invest it into your business. But for right now, no overhead, no cost. Just make sure you put it to the side and just send it off. I would suggest monthly. I wouldn't do quarterly like Uncle Sam recommends. I would do monthly, again, not quarterly, so you don't have to worry about anything when it comes time for you to file your taxes at the end of the year. All right, I'm Kamari Ellis. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe to the channel. Also, invite some of your friends over who are looking for help with their business or their investments or just overall wealth concepts. Any other questions about taxes? Tell me something. Do you pay estimated taxes? Drop a link in the comment. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.